Before we get into my recap of Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 Part 2, if you haven't seen my recap video of the first 10 episodes of the season, be sure to click up here for episodes 1 to 10. But here we go with Season 1 Part 2, episodes 11 to 20. In episode 11, the Protostar crew seek asylum on a remote Starfleet communications relay station in the Beta Quadrant, manned by Lieutenant Frex. In biometric scans, Murph is revealed to be a melanoid slime worm, and Dahl's race is said to be known, but the information is restricted to Starfleet Command. Gwyn uses the station's sickbay to restore her memories of the Diviner's plan, but she is too late to warn Frex, who connects to the Protostar's systems and activates the virus. The station destroys itself, Frex escapes, and the young crew return to the Protostar. Meanwhile, Vice Admiral Janeway and the Dauntless trace the Protostar's path and find the Diviner on Tars Lamora. In episode 12, Let Sleeping Borg Lie, the crew find the construct that holds the virus in a hidden subdeck on the ship and are unable to destroy it. Coming across a dormant Borg cube, they wonder if the Borg could help disarm the weapon. On the cube, Zero connects to the Borg collective to search for information and is assimilated. The others are captured, but Gwyn is able to break Zero away from the collective and they return the Borg to dormancy. The crew return to the Protostar, learning that the construct cannot be disarmed or removed. Meanwhile, the Dauntless finds the wreckage of the relay station. Admiral Janeway has the Diviner revived, but he does not have his memories. In episode 13, All the World's a Stage, the Protostar crew responds to a distress call from an M-class planet except for Murph, who is unwell. They discover an alien race called the Enterprisians who revere and imitate Starfleet. A mysterious disease is afflicting the villagers and also affects Dahl. They track the disease to a cave holding a Federation shuttlecraft that crashed on the planet with Ensign Garovic of the USS Enterprise long ago. The shuttlecraft is leaking plasma and poisoning the environment. The crew and villagers work together to dispose of the shuttlecraft and seal the cave while Zero devises a cure. When the crew return to the Protostar, they find Murph encased in a cocoon. In episode 14, Crossroads, the crew decide to reach Starfleet with a different ship and hide the Protostar near a busy transportation hub. A man named Okona overhears their need and offers travel, but is arrested for smuggling. Admiral Janeway sees Frex at the same hub and realises that the crew of the Protostar are there. The young crew race back to the Protostar and are pursued by Janeway. They find that Okona has stowed away with them. The Dauntless pursues the Protostar at warp speed. Murph hatches from his cocoon in a more humanoid body. Admiral Janeway fires on the Protostar, disabling its warp drive, and the young crew retreat to the Romulan neutral zone. In episode 15, Masquerade, the Protostar stops for repairs at a starport where geneticist Dr. Jago informs Dahl that he is a human augmented with 26 other species. She gives Dahl an implant to unlock his dormant abilities. Romulans enter the neutral zone to steal the Protostar, but need the captain to gain control of the ship. They pursue the crew, causing Okona to flee. Dahl subdues the Romulans with his new abilities, but begins to lose control. Murph helps repel the last attackers and they escape on the Protostar. Zero removes Dahl's implant and he returns to normal. On the Dauntless, Ensign Essentia reveals to the Diviner that she is in fact the Vindicator, a member of his species. In episode 16, Preludes, as the crew of the Protostar repair the proto-drive, each of them recounts how they got to Tars Lamora. Rock used to play a monster in staged fights, but one day she decided to fight back and defeat the hero she was sold off soon after. Zero was part of a Medusan exploration crew when they were captured by hunters. Jankum was awakened early from cryogenic sleep on a Tellarite ship and repaired critical damage to the vessel before leaving in an escape pod so enough oxygen would remain for the rest of the crew. He was captured soon after. On the Dauntless, the Vindicator and her own Dreadnought help the Diviner remember his past. In episode 17, Ghost in the Machine, the crew unsuccessfully uses the holodeck to simulate attempts to warn the Dauntless of the virus. They are then trapped inside their own personal holodeck simulations: Zero's detective story, Jankum's street fighting simulation, a jazz club program for Murph, and an amalgam of Dahl's pirate simulation and Rock's virtual pet game. Zero deduces that by not completing their simulations, they can escape, and the crew are able to end the hologram. Hologram Janeway is revealed to have trapped them back in the holodeck, acting under a secret subroutine programmed by the construct to keep them distracted until they reach Federation space. In episode 18, Mind Walk, the Protostar heads for Federation space with the Dauntless close behind. Dahl uses his nascent telepathic ability to warn Admiral Janeway about the construct, but accidentally swaps bodies with her. Janeway, in Dahl's body, learns the story of the Protostar's young crew, repairs hologram Janeway, and vows to help the team, though she notes that Dahl cannot join Starfleet because augments aren't allowed. On the Dauntless, Dahl's attempts to pass as the Admiral arouse suspicion. Janeway and Dahl are able to swap back by touching hands hands during a spacewalk between the two ships, and Dahl returns to the Protostar. The ship leaves at warp to face a Federation armada. In episode 19, Supernova Part 1, the Protostar crew attempt to escape but are fired upon by the fleet. The Vindicator, Diviner, and Dreadnought beam onto the Protostar where Gwyn and the Vindicator fight. Dreadnought defeats the others easily and then helps stop Gwyn. The Diviner is fatally wounded attempting to save his daughter, who he entreats to unify their people. The Vindicator activates the weapon and the fleet begins destroying itself. The ship's translators also stop working, but Gwyn uses her linguistic skills to send out a distress call, which is answered by several Federation allies. More Federation ships also arrive, and the allies are not enough to stop the collapse of the Armada. In episode 20, Supernova Part 2, the Protostar crew believe they can stop the destruction by taking the ship to proto-warp and simultaneously destroying it. Hologram Janeway sacrifices herself doing this while the others escape on a hastily built shuttle. This creates a wormhole to the future where Janeway believes the original Starfleet crew of the Protostar may still be alive. When the young crew make it to Earth, they are placed on trial. Admiral Janeway advocates for them, and they, including Dahl, are allowed to join her as warrant officers on a new mission to find Captain Chakotay and the original Protostar crew. Gwyn chooses to go back to her homeworld and attempt to prevent the Civil War. Thanks for watching my recap video for Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 Part 2, and be sure to check out all my Star Trek Prodigy episode reviews for Season 2. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube, and be sure to check out my merch in the merch store where you can pick up plenty of cool sci-fi and Star Trek themed t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and caps at very reasonable prices and help support the channel at the same time. I'll be back very soon with the next video. I'll catch you guys soon.